How are you at home, down 0-3? I mean 0-2. Now you are down 0-3, and look lifeless out there. Look like you don't care out there. Phoenix, man. It's just a fucking awful performance from everyone. And I don't care that KD, Beal, and Booker all scored over 20. All of Beal's points came when the game was pretty much over. He was awful when it mattered. I'm pretty sure all his points came in the fourth quarter, where it was pretty much worthless. 5 of 6 in the fourth quarter. And prior to that, he was, what is it then? 5 of 6. So he was 5 of 13 prior to that. And it felt much worse. It felt like he had a worse game than that. I thought he had no real impact on the game. Devin Booker had himself some moments, but he wasn't assertive enough. He was foul baiting too much. And Kevin Durant, he took his shots, but like they lack leadership. They don't have a huge plan. They don't have good role players around them, and they're just hoping their guys that are tough shot makers will make tough shots. But they're playing against the best defense in the league with the best length, best contesting, with the best game plan out there defensively. Whether it's one-on-one defense, team defense, Rudy Gobert, of course, protecting the paint, and the Suns just look lifeless. No leadership out there, without an effort or energy. Like the most energy I feel out of this game was Eric Gordon, Andrew Eubanks. What does that tell you? Yusuf Nurkic has been awful, which we knew he's always been a liability, whether it was on offense or defense. Royce O'Neal couldn't hit a shot. That happens. And I mean, he's been getting tough shots because this Minnesota defense is just so good, man. They're so good at rotating. They're so good at switching. So good at protecting the paint. Obviously, with Rudy Gobert. So good at just going around screens, making everyone uncomfortable. They're gonna be tough to beat. And Anthony Edwards today was on one. He had himself some great moments. He was hooping, man. He was making tough shots, seizing the moment. Karl Anthony Towns was also seizing the moment. He was awesome, I thought, today. Loved his assertiveness, loved his aggressiveness today. Rudy Gobert has been sensational in the free throw shooting. Shout out to him. And you get a good game from Mike Conley once again, who steadies the ship and hits the 3-pointers when you need them. Nas Reed had himself a bounce back game. Nikhil Alexander Walker hits those tough 3-pointers and just does a little bit of everything also. More length, more size. They have just such a good team. But it still screams more to me about the roster construction of Phoenix, the leadership in Phoenix, uh, and the fact that they paid Bradley Beal to be their third option and traded for him instead of having, more role players around Booker and KD. If you had Booker and KD and had some good defensive 3-and-D guys around them, I know they're hard to find in this league, obviously. Uh, so you're gonna have a tough time, getting them and finding them. But uh, they have had to give them all up in the trade for KD. So I don't know what you could have done, but you for sure could have at least not given, traded for Bradley Beal and found a way to just make this, you know, a roster more fit for Frank Vogel, right? Give him at least defensive players. Yeah, the offense might be worse, but if you had more defensive players around them, KD and Devin Booker would have maybe been able to give you something better. I don't know, but this Suns team is just lifeless, and the Timberwolves came in snatching souls. Uh, I'm really impressed by Minnesota. They turned it up a notch in in the playoffs, and their defense is just stellar. Anthony Edwards has been playing like you need him to if they want to make a real, run at the championship. And this is setting us up for an epic round two between them and Denver, which, whew, that's gonna be a hell of a matchup, especially with the way Minnesota defense. They have two players they can get on Jokic in terms of size, and they can obviously have Rudy, Towns defend uh, Jokic, but have Rudy patrol the paint around him. So, ooh, I'm getting ahead. It's still not over. Both teams lead 3-0. I guess. Uh, from the way these games have looked, you're expecting Denver to close it out today in Los Angeles, and you're expecting Minnesota to close it out on Sunday in Phoenix. But you never know. You never know. But shout out to Minnesota. Such an impressive playoff run so far from them. Such an impressive stretch against these Suns, and I'm excited to see them, in this closeout situation. I'll catch you all then tomorrow. I'll talk to you all about, of course, tonight's games, and we'll see what happens. And Cleveland against Orlando is pretty much on the clock right now, so I'm gonna go watch that and edit these videos. As always, be kind to others. Thank you all, and yeah, love your